Macaques' Amazing World: Biological, Behavioral, and Life Cycle Insights. The intriguing macaque lives in Asia's lush woods in different settings. Macaques' clever eyes, complex social structures, and extraordinary adaptations have fascinated scientists and nature lovers. Explore macaques' biology, behavior, habitat, ecological significance, and complex life cycle with us. The family Cercopithecidae includes the complex Old World monkey genus Macaca. Several species and subspecies of this genus inhabit Asia, Africa, and portions of Europe. 1. Rhesus macaque, Macaca malata, in India, Southeast Asia, and China. It lives in woods and cities. 2. Japanese macaque, Macaca fuscata. Japanese macaques are known for adapting to cold areas and using hot springs for thermoregulation. 3. Long-tailed Macaca fascicularis. The crab-eating macaque lives in coastal woods, mangroves, and cities in Southeast Asia. 4. The pig-tailed macaque, Macaca nemestrina. Short, stump-like tails distinguish these Southeast Asian forest macaques. These species adapt to varied surroundings by changing coat color, size, social behavior, and habitat preferences. Macaques' physical traits help them survive in their habitats. Long limbs, flexible tails, and gripping hands and feet with opposable thumbs make them ideal tree dwellers. Macaques' cheek pouches, which store and convey food while foraging, are distinctive. When predator-free, macaques eat from these pouches, which can hold a lot of food. The coat colors and patterns of macaques vary by species and even within groups. This variety helps them conceal in nature, protecting them from big cats and birds of prey. Their strong senses of sight, smell, and hearing help them find food, threats, and group communication. Macaques' complex vocalizations, facial expressions, and body language are important in social interactions and group dynamics. The very adaptable macaques of Asia live in tropical rainforests, temperate forests, mangroves, mountains, and cities. The distribution of these species is affected by food, water, competition, and human activity. The long-tailed macaque lives in coastal woods and mangrove swamps, while the Japanese macaque spends winters in snow-covered areas. Macaques defend their home ranges and territories from rival groups and intruders. These areas usually have enough of food, water, and tree or cliff sleeping spots. Macaques are omnivore monkeys with varied diets based on location and resources. They eat fruits, leaves, seeds, insects, small animals, bird eggs, and occasionally vertebrates. Macaques eat opportunistically based on seasonal variations in food availability. They move things and retrieve food from hard-to-reach locations with their nimble hands and fingers. In tool use, macaques utilize sticks, stones, or other things to extricate insects from crevices or crack open hard nuts and seeds. This behavior demonstrates cognitive and problem-solving ability. Urban macaques may plunder farmland, waste bins, and human settlements for food, causing conflict with locals. Social primates, macaques live in complicated units. Depending on species and habitat, these groups can have a few to over 100 members. Dominant members of the flock have priority for food, mating partners, and sleeping locations. Aggression, vocalizations, and physical contact create dominance. Macaques groom, play, communicate, and defend their territories. Social bonding, hygiene, and parasite elimination from fur depend on grooming. Reconciliation following group disagreements is also possible. Macaques communicate using grunts, screams, barks, facial emotions, hand gestures, and body postures. These signals reflect social rank, dangers, mating readiness, and group cohesion. Macaques have several unique behaviors, including 1. Alloparenting. Elderly siblings or female relatives help care for and protect infants in various macaque species. This cooperative breeding method improves offspring survival and group bonding. 2. Play. Macaques play by pursuing, wrestling, and swinging from branches. Play helps juvenile macaques acquire social and physical skills, problem-solving, and social hierarchies. 3. Agonistic interactions. Dominance and resource disagreements can cause macaque aggression. This includes threats, teeth displays, lunging, and even fights. Usually, ritualized presentations resolve tensions without violence. Macaques have unique developmental, social, and reproductive stages. Key stages are summarized here. 1. Infancy. Macaque babies are born after 5 to 7 months of gestation, depending on species. Newborns need their mothers for nursing, protection, and warmth. They tightly clasp their mother's fur on her belly or back. 2. Juvenilehood. Young macaques explore, climb, and socialize as they mature. Adult troop members teach them social conventions, foraging, and grooming. 3. Subadult. Macaques undergo major morphological and hormonal changes as they approach sexual maturity in subadulthood. This stage is distinguished by secondary sexual traits such male canine enlargement and coat color or size changes. 4. Sexual maturity. Sexual maturity occurs between 2 and 4 years in female macaques and 3 to 5 years in males. Breeding behaviors such as wooing displays, mating calls, and mate competition begin with sexual development. 5. Reproduction. Macaques breed seasonally, peaking during mating season, estrus, or heat. Signals female fecundity to males by scent marks and behaviors. Females can mate with several partners, while dominant males have more mating possibilities. 6. Birth and pregnancy. After mating, females gestate for 5 to 7 months, depending on species. She usually has one child, but twins are rare. Births are swift and private in the troops region. 7. Parenting. Male and female macaques care for children, however paternal involvement varies by species. While mothers care for their children, troop members may alloparent. 8. Kid independence. Young macaques become increasingly autonomous as they become older, leaving their moms and joining groups. Under adult supervision, they learn foraging, socializing, and predator avoidance. 9. Social status and adulthood. Macaques join the troop's social structure as adults. Dominants get food, mating partners, and good resting locations. Subordinates may make alliances, groom dominant members, or challenge them for position. Macaques affect seed dispersal, vegetation dynamics, and nutrient cycling in their habitats. As frugivorous and omnivorous primates, they eat fruits, leaves, flowers, and seeds. Macaques spread seeds by feeding, preserving plant diversity. Macaques drop seeds in their feces, allowing new plants to sprout. Macaques also cycle nutrients by depositing organic waste on the forest floor via their feces and urine. This nutrient-rich substance feeds insects and decomposers and grows plants. As prey for leopards, pythons, and birds of prey, macaques are vital to the food system. Their existence regulates herbivore and carnivore populations by affecting predator-prey dynamics. Despite their flexibility and extensive range, macaques face many risks, mostly from humans and habitat loss. Important threats include 1. Destruction of habitat. Macaque habitats have been fragmented by deforestation, agricultural expansion, logging, and infrastructure construction. Fragmentation isolates populations, lowers food sources, and increases poaching and human conflict. 2. Illegal wildlife trade. Macaques are targeted for illicit pet trafficking, traditional medicine, and entertainment. Macaques captured and traded for these purposes deplete wild populations and subject them to stress, sickness, and brutality. 3. Human-wildlife conflict. Where macaques and humans coexist, crop raiding, property destruction, and perceived safety issues occur. These conflicts often lead to retaliatory deaths, habitat loss, and power line electrocution. 4. Climate change. Macaques face extra challenges from climate change, including changing rainfall patterns, temperature extremes, and habitat alterations. Food, water, and sickness can affect their survival and reproduction. Conservation efforts for macaques and their habitats include 1. Reserves and protected areas. Management of national parks, wildlife sanctuaries, and nature reserves protects macaques and other species. These protected areas preserve habitats and conserve biodiversity. 2. Restoring habitat and connectivity. Restoring habitats, reforesting, and creating wildlife corridors reunite macaque populations. These corridors enable gene flow, dispersal, and environmental adaptation. 3. Poaching prevention. Combating poaching and the illegal wildlife trade requires increased law enforcement, patrolling, and wildlife crime investigations. Community engagement and public awareness efforts help reduce macaque and body part demand. 4. Sustainable education and tourism. Responsible ecotourism, such as wildlife viewing and guided excursions, can assist local communities and raise macaque conservation awareness. School and community education promotes wildlife management and appreciation. Many Asian cultures revere macaques in mythology, religion, and ceremonial. Some cultures worship them as deities, while others honor them as symbols of wisdom, longevity, and resilience. Art, literature, and culture depict macaques, demonstrating their continuing appeal. Macaques have helped researchers in primatology, behavior, cognition, genetics, and medicine. They are useful models for human physiology, disease processes, and medication development since they share 93% of their DNA with humans. Macaques have been employed in biomedical research for decades, improving vaccines, infectious illness treatments, and surgery. The use of animals in scientific research has raised ethical questions about animal welfare, testing, and alternative approaches. Scientists investigate macaque behavior to understand social structures, communication, mating, and cognition. Wild macaques reveal how monkeys interact with their environment, adapt to changing situations, and traverse complicated social dynamics. One noteworthy area of inquiry is macaque culture, inherited behaviors and habits. Tool use, grooming, vocalizations, and regional social hierarchies are cultural behaviors. Macaques in captivity undergo enrichment programs to improve their physical, mental, and social health. Puzzle feeders, foraging challenges, socializing, and exercise are enrichment activities. These programs mimic natural behaviors, alleviate stress, and improve captive macaques' health. Many macaque species have conservation issues due to habitat degradation, human-wildlife conflicts, poaching, and disease outbreaks. Conservation efforts for rhesus macaques in their habitats include 1. Protected areas. National parks, wildlife reserves, and conservation areas protect rhesus macaques and other species. Natural behaviors, breeding, and foraging are allowed and protected. Zones. 2. Restoring habitat. Restoring habitats, reforesting, and constructing wildlife corridors reunite macaque populations. This increases gene flow, variety, and macaque resilience to environmental changes. 3. Poaching prevention. Combating illicit poaching in the wildlife trade requires increased law enforcement, patrols, and wildlife crime investigations. Public awareness programs promote macaque and habitat conservation in local populations. 4. Macaque biology, behavior, and ecological research aids conservation efforts. Monitoring population, habitat, and disease trends informs conservation and management methods. 5. Developing sustainably. Sustainable land use, ecotourism, and community-based conservation can protect macaque habitats and boost local economies. Despite these efforts, habitat destruction, hunting, disease transmission, and climate change threaten rhesus macaques and other macaques. To preserve these amazing primates, governments, conservation organizations, researchers, and local populations must work together. In conclusion, macaques' biology, behavior, and ecology are fascinating. These intelligent, adaptable monkeys are vital to their ecosystems, from seed distribution and nutrient cycling to cultural traditions and social dynamics. Macaques reveal primate evolution and the interdependence of life through their strong senses, complex social systems, and astonishing adaptations. As we seek to save macaques and their habitats, let us honor their heritage and work together to keep them wild. Celebrate the legacy of macaques, forest guards, and ecological activists. Let's work towards a future where macaques and people coexist together, respecting each other's habitats and fostering the complex web of life. Education, conservation, sustainable practices, and responsible care of nature can help macaques in their different environments. Celebrate the brilliance, resilience, and beauty of these magnificent monkeys and work to improve macaque lives for future generations. Subscribe, like, and share. Support macaque conservation and habitat preservation in your town today. We can improve macaques and the environment together.